It's time for today's race at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache here in Sao Paulo. And as any of the 80,000 capacity crowd will tell you, this is going to be a fantastic race. It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Intelagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. Two very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junsao into one of the two DRS zones will be key to any overtaking prospects today.
Good evening, race fans. Urban Pirate here, Black Flag Racing TV, as you would expect. And you're right, Darren, it is probably a little bit louder. That's probably just because, I'm sorry, I'm talking to Darren on the chat. That's because I've had time to sort out the levels on this one, because I've been doing this one for 9 weeks. The other one I started doing, well, this week was the first time I did that one. And I didn't have time to mess around with it and get the levels sorted. So, suck it. Where are we? We're at. You're thinking, bloody hell, you've literally just done a broadcast. You're like a machine, Ali. That's what I could hear you saying. Or not. You might not be saying that at all. Where are we? Well, Late Night Racing League, round number 9 at the wonderful, the enigmatic, the utterly brilliant racetrack that is Autodromo Thingy Carlos Pache thing. Intelagos, to be new, Rio de Janeiro for the Brazil Grand Prix. Looking forward to this one, because I love this racetrack. It's one of my favouriteest in the whole wide world. At the moment, we've only got a few in the lobby, but it gives us time. It gives us time to have a look at the driver standings for Season 6 so far. We're on round 9 of 12. And the reigning champion, Dunners, another great performance from him last week. Sees that gap open to 51 points from Blumjum, our glorious host this evening, of course. In the Ferrari, he's on 150. Quick Killers just back in the Williams on 147. That's your top 3 currently in this championship. One of these 3 may or may not be champion at the end of this season. Who is further back? Well, there we go. We've got Battle for Williams in 145. In 4th place, we've got Moggy, the other Ferrari driver, 137 points. Bimmerguy, nice and solid performances from Bimmerguy this season. 132 points for him. Friendly Dutch, 122. Mukshmi with 120. Mad Max, 99 points. And A. Riley on 83, and I'm not entirely sure that is the correct score this week. I have a very funny feeling that that's last week's scores. Let me just double check something, because I think it might actually be last week's scores. Let's have a look. It is indeed last week's scores. This is how it really should look. Go again, shall we? Professional right until the last. Professional. That's how it actually looks. Dunners on 303 points. I have more than one job, Daryl. Thanks, Steve. I found that it's sorted now. It's sorted. And I don't have one job. I have many jobs. I have to entertain you with the dulcet tones of the smoker's cough. I have to press buttons and make stuff appear on screen. I have to watch the racing, and then I have to pretend that I know what I'm talking about. So, yes, updated scores. Ignore the first bit. That was what it looked like last week. See, that's what I did there. I pretended like I meant it. So those scores I just showed you were last week. Jack of all trades, master of absolutely fucking none. Yes. So Dunners is still in the lead, of course. 303 points is the points total for Dunners. He is the reigning champion, and he's got some gap at the top. Well, not big enough that it can't be surpassed here. but big enough. Moggy on 274 points. Bemagai on 209. That's your top three. Then we go further down the order and we'll look at the correct scores. And this is what the correct scores look like. Friendly Dutch, 206 points. Mukshmi, also for Rebel, 201. Quick Killers, 196. Blumchum with a 193. Riley with 150. Battle with 145. Wolsey also for Alfa Romeo alongside Riley on 116 points. And then we've got Beckett, Mad Max Joseph, Apila Ryan, Mr. J, Drew Cam, Era, Connor, the winner of the F2 Crimbo tournament, and Grimy on 45 points. And then we've got a couple of others that are not on the list because they're reserve drivers and we hate them. Constructors Championship, I bet this one's wrong as well, and if it is, I will change it. Let's put that up there, and then let's go and check, because I think that is the wrong one. Of course it's wrong, because I'm the consummate professional. So this is what it used to look like, and this is what it now looks like. Hang on. I think this is what it now looks like. There we go. That's what it used to look like some weeks ago, and now it looks like this. 467 points, Ferrari lead at the top of the Constructors' Championship. Yeah, no. To be fair, sometimes I don't know what it is, Steve, because sometimes because it's essentially archives it. So anything I do comes directly from the file I sign it to on my computer. But after like a week or so, it archives it somewhere else. So if I don't physically go in and check or physically make sure the new one's in there, then it sometimes reverts back to an old one that it decides it likes. And because I just did a mass clean out of my computer yesterday, removing loads of temporary files, it's probably removed the majority of temporary files, but kept those particular ones. But it's fixed now, because I'm a professional and I know what I'm doing. Listen, oh yeah, good idea. Spectator mode would be awesome. There we go. Thanks for reminding me. I'm good at this, no, I'm properly professional today. I'm getting the scores wrong, I'm getting the tables wrong, I'm forgetting to press buttons. I'll forget how to speak soon. Yeah, so there's your Constructors line up. 467 points for Ferrari in the lead. Red Bull Racing 412 in second place. 349 for Aston Martin. Williams in fourth, 341. 313 for Alpha Tauri, Alfa Romeo on 296, Alpine on 158, Mercedes AMG 145 points, 118 for McLaren, and Haas driving slow cars since last year, 104 points for them. And you know what, it's only 2 months until the new Grand Prix season starts. How freaking cool is that shizzle? How cool is that? And yeah, there we go. They, you know, they're still not out of it. Put it that way. Always a good chance. And I'm trying to find something. That's what I'm trying to find. But that's there. Done. Just going to move that where I want it on the screen. You won't see what I'm talking about, but I know what it is. There we go. Right. Let's see if I can get all the way through this without fucking anything else up. That'd be an interesting set of events, wouldn't it? So it is Sao Paulo in Brazil. Short qualifying first. We'll get through that. Then we're on to 25% race, followed by 50% race here at Interlagos. I love this racetrack. Absolutely love it. Like one of his favouriteest racetracks on the planet. Right, 18 minutes of qualifying to go. We've got just 13 in the lobby tonight. Disappointing, man. Where are you all? What are you all doing that's more important than racing in F1? I'll tell you absolutely nothing. There is nothing you are doing that is more important than this. And I apologise if you are doing something that's more important, but I don't think there is anything more important. So who do we fancy for this? Well, I mean, you can't really look at this without looking at drivers like Schmee, Friendly Dutch, both quick drivers. We know Blumchum's capable of chucking in a lap or two. Reigning champion and current leader Dunners. Always got to watch out for him. Moggy's pretty quick at times. Connor likes to chuck in a lap or two as well. So let's see what we will see. Who are we going to do it on board with? Let's see what. Let's bring up me little mappy map first. There we go. Full track map got that already actually. Who shall we do it on board with for the fast lap today? I don't know. Who have not done. Let's do a lap on board with our fingers on that. Yeah, fingers he's fucking around in the pits. So Daryl's not getting no airtime today, boy. Let's go on board with Dunners. Let's do it on board with Dunners. There we go. Should we get rid of all that stuff as well? Make it really cool to look at. So here we go. So essentially, this is your lap. So you come down. This is your output. This will be your lap, obviously. Why is it not giving me the... What is going on? That's what I want. And I love that. This is essentially two different racetracks. You've got the kind of straight line speed of your kind of oval racetracks, which is kind of like your IndyCar and NASCAR kind of scenario, which, you know, oval racetracks are shit about. It's boring. And then you've got this kind of twisty section in the middle, which is very reminiscent of car racing. And then you come here down to Junção, big braking zone. And this is where your lap begins. It doesn't begin at the start finish line, it begins there. Your exit out of Junção, absolute key. On the power, getting up, 7th, 8th gear, bit of slipstream, and some DRS here, and the DRS is fully open. And you power your way towards the line, onto this right-hand side, looking for that 100-metre board. It's where you start getting on the brakes, get it turned in through the centre S, accelerating out of the bottom of the S, and all the way around the curve at the Sol. And you head down now on the right-hand side of the racetrack, looking for your braking zone. There it is, just by that 100-metre board. Get it turned in. Be careful of track limits. That's going to be a track limit violation. You might have got away with it actually, or maybe didn't. Head up here, then it's just a little lift, little drop down in gears before you power through to this, the second slowest corner on the racetrack. Then you're just feathering the throttle, feathering through here before you can get on that power. Careful not to get too squirrely or get you on the grass. Changing down, again, let the car drift to the right, and you power through here. Now there's a little bump. Oh, there's a car in the middle of the racetrack. That is either Bum Jump or Moggy in the Ferrari. But as you come around that kind of left-hander there, before you get to Junção, there's a little bump on that left-hand side, and you catch that at the wrong angle, at full pelt. I mean, you should be avoiding it as you come into a wide round corner. But yeah, it can really unsettle your car. So that was a 109.388 from Dunners. Not a bad lap at all, to be fair. Wolsey at the moment is the fastest man on the track with a 1:08. 773. McShmee 109.1. Riley with a 109.3. So 6 tenths of a second slower than his teammate. We just went on board with Dunners in a 109.3. 388. So just a couple of hundredths off the time of Riley. Ryan with a 109.4. Moggy with a 109.5. And Mr. J with a 6.5 day time. That's 129.4. Clearly had an issue on the track on that lap there. So fast and furious these laps. Nothing to do with the film. And we've already had a retirement from this qualifying session. So Error is out. Made a mistakey, and now he's out of qualifying. So Wolsey still on pole position. We've got a yellow flag for the stricken Error. We've got Wolsey with a 108.7. McShmee joins him on row number 1. Row number 2, Bimmerguy and Riley. Row number 3 is Dunners and Ryan. Row number 4 is Moggy with Friendly Dutch. And we have debated whether he's friendly and Dutch, or whether he's angry and not Dutch, and what difference that makes. Who really gives a toss. Then we've got Mr. J, who will definitely be improving on that 129.4 at some stage. Bimmerguy completely down on his side because it's all red. What about Dunners? Have we got any purples? Have we got any greens as he goes round? Well, we don't know about Sector 1 because we only just joined him. But as he's coming round sector 2, it sweeps round this right-hander and then into the final sector, which begins just before you get to Junkow. And there we go. There is into sector 3. That is purple for Dunners. Is he going to purple sector 3 as well and put himself on the front row? Good evening, PM10 Racing. That's my buddy there, Paul. And if anyone's interested in a really, really cool, essentially it's the safety car from the AMG Mercedes, a really, really cool car reveal video, which is a car reveal video for a GT7 tournament starting next week, our GR3 Championship. He did a really, really cool car reveal video today after everyone voted for what car he should drive. And you'll find that on his YouTube channel, which is at PM10 Racing. You can find it at the bottom of our page. Don't go watch it yet. Stay here. Go and watch him later. No, feel free to go and watch it while we're qualifying and then come back. How about that? He's got some really cool stuff on there. It's all GT7. There's some really cool challenges and lap guides, and he does all of our lap guides and shows us how quickly we should be going in the GT cars. So yeah, keep an eye out for him on your travels through this wonderful world of YouTube television. So Dunners puts himself on the front row with that lap. Nobody yet other than Wolsey has gone quicker than 109 though, which is a bit of a crying shame. So Wolsey on pole, Dunners joins him on row 1. McShmee and Bimmerguy on row 2. Riley and Ryan sitting in a tree on row 3. Moggy and Friendly Dutch are row 4. Mr. J and Blumchum row 5, although Blumchum not yet put in a lap. Is he gonna go hot this time? What sort of times he put in? Error, he's failed to put in a lap and is out of this session. So we'll start from the very back, or the pit lane, or like back at another track completely. He's that far back. Blumchum puts himself on the front row. He goes sub 109. That's a 108.9. That's a very good lap from him. And good points is what he is after. We know what the championship looks like. And we know who needs to get the points today. Drivers we need to watch out for today. Let's bring that back up so you can see just who we need to look out for. That's who we really need to look out for is Dunners, Moggy and Bimmerguy. They're the top 3. I think Dunners at the moment is that his only real challenge is going to be from Moggy. Moggy currently in 5th place in the championship. That's the people we need to look out for out front. In terms of constructors, it's still all to do really. Yes, Ferrari ahead, 467 points. And with Blumchum and Moggy being where they are in that top 5, they stay there, it's going to help them immensely. But we've got McShmee, we've got Friendly Dutch there very quick for the Red Bull Racing team. And as Connor said earlier, Connor and Dunners racing for... is Dunners and Connor in the same team? Of course they are. Connor and Dunners are racing for Aston Martin. Big points for them today, and they could actually bring themselves into the mix. So, all to play for. I'll tell you who else I'm looking out for as well. It's the Haas of Mr. J and Error. They're only, I say only, they're 14 points back from McLaren at the back of the pack. There are no McLarens running today. They can jump McLaren in the Constructors' Championship today, and I really want to see it because they've they pop around the back and they go slowly and everyone's like, oh fucking hell. But let's face it, they stick it out and not many people do. But being in the top 13 today should give some juicy points out to everybody, and if they can jump McLaren today, that would be awesome. So what we got? Who's on track? Bimmerguy. Is he going to give us a faster lap? Doesn't look like it. What did I want? I want to bring up some telemetry and some... no, I don't want to do back about that. I want that. So if you're watching Codemasters, for F1 2023, I would like sector time analysis as a spectator. You don't have to make it available to everybody, just make it available to me as a spectator. So sector time analysis, some sort of way of predicting catch-up distances and stuff like that based on pace. I'm sure you can work that out like they do in the real F1 thingy. If Crofty can have it, why can't I? That's the answer. Answer that question for me, eh? Crofty gets paid loads of money. He should have to do it without any help at all. He should have to do it with a pen and a bit of paper, with Martin Brundle holding it up in front of the camera for him. Friendly Dutch puts himself on pole position. Great lap, 108.763. Just 100th of a second quicker than Woolsey. And Woolsey resigns to second place. As Bimmerguy comes, he crosses the line and he goes where? Stays third. That was really, really slow there, to be fair. So, who else we got out on track? Woolsey is looking to put another lap in. Blumchump on an out lap at the moment. Fingers has given us a 110.4. Certainly some work for him to do there. To get out of the garage and put a freaking lap in, boy. Mr. J has improved his time, 111.0. Connor still to put in a lap time. He's clearly brave and thinks he can get out there and just whack one in like a demon. But there is your current pole sitter, Friendly Dutch. He is on the front row alongside Woolsey. Bimmerguy and Blumchump just behind them. And behind them, it's the current championship leader and the reigning champion in the Aston Martin. Alongside his teammate Connor, looking for big points today. He's on row 2 after that lap. Alongside Bimmerguy, Blumchump dropping down to row 3, which he will share with McShmee. Moggy. Oi. He's on his 7th with Riley in 8th. That's a 4th on 4th row. And then we've got Ryan and Fingers. And they are 9th and 10th on row 5. Mr. J 90 in 11th with Error currently 12th. But once Connor puts a lap in, Error will be last because he is not qualifying in the session. Although I don't know why Connor's not coming out. There's only 4 minutes 50 seconds left, Connor. You have got big brass balls, my friend. And it's time to get those big brass balls out and put them on the accelerator to weigh it down. Which one's Albert, Max? Because it hasn't got the names Albert. Which one's Albert? I know it's not Riley. Who else is it? Definitely not. I don't actually know. So I think today it's difficult to call because I think you've got quite a few guys out there. You've got 5 guys now sub 109. There is only 0.2 of a second split Friendly Dutch in 1st and Blumchump in 5th. There's only 0.3 separate them and McShmee in 6th. And half a second separates the top half of the field completely. That's Friendly Dutch. Max, number 1, is he friendly? And number 2, is he actually Dutch? That's what we want to hear. That's the important stuff that we need to know. We don't care how quick they go. We want to know, is Friendly Dutch friendly and is he Dutch? So Friendly Dutch is your pole sitter. He is on an out lap. He's going to go again. He's going to try and consolidate that pole position. Woolsey had another go. Hasn't been able to improve just yet. But here he goes into Jun Cao onto that power. That's a great shot of him in that Alfa Romeo. No, he's not friendly. Yes, he is Dutch. Thanks for that. To be fair, anyone that's in Black Flag, I know Fingers is in our Discord, and so is Riley. We've got a lot of. Oh, you're back next. Awesome. Glad that you're back next week. Yeah, we've got a lot of Dutch guys in our race team, and yeah, I do get the impression that they are whiny little bitches. Particularly TJ. He's a whiny little bitch. I'm only joking, guys. I love you. Please don't watch this video and slag me off. No, the Dutch guys are very good fun, but they can't tell the time properly. So there we go. Friendly Dutch is your pole sitter, and we have a good authority that he is Dutch, but he is not at all friendly. And his name is Albert. Also, I hear that he has a mole on his butt. No, I'm joking. I don't have that much information on him. Wolsey currently on the front row alongside him. It's Moggy and Blumchum, the two fezzers. Oh my God! And sorry, I'm very sorry, Blumchum, but you cannot fucking park that there, mate. So you need to move that very stricken car out of the goddamn way. Yeah, he smashed the shit out of that. His head will be spinning for a few days. So Blumchum's not going to improve on the second row and finds himself on the third row. But he won't know yet because he's too busy picking bits of carbon fibre out of his flesh after that massive smash. Dunners is running in at 6th position, just behind Blumchum, and will hopefully be able to chuck in a faster time here. Sector 3, well, that's looking pretty darn slow. That wasn't a good lap from Dunners. That might be without a lap, to be fair. We'll see how he gets on now. What is he going to put a quick lap in? There is a minute left to qualifying. If you're not on track now, you ain't getting no laps done, and that's a fact. So, Friendly Dutch, what's he got? He is just coming through Sector 1. Anyone just about to do a... He's slow, he's not going to improve. Moggy's going into the pits. Is he happy with 4th? Looks like he might be. Dunners is going again. McShmee, he's just gone purple in Sector 1. What about Sector 2? Is he going to go purple again? So here he goes round that sweeping right-hander. He'll get on the power here, get on those brakes, get it turned in, take a curb as you go through, and then you feather that throttle round that left-hander until you're brave enough to take that car. And somebody's decided they don't like the on-site advertising and has absolutely wiped it out and left it strewn all over that lovely grass. And that will have been Dunners that did that. No purple this time. And round and round and round and round he goes, looks me. Round and round, sugar. So there we go. So Pippa Guy's done. Moggy's done. Ryan's done. Fingers is done with a 110 for 1-2. Error, Mr. J bringing up the rear, 12th and 13th. Only Wolsey now left to try and set a decent time. And Dunners won't do that now because he was too busy taking out road signs, polystyrene road signs, than he was trying to qualify. And here we go. This is Wolsey. It's a 102 as he comes round that final little bend there. Is it quick enough for pole position? Is it? Fuck. 108.5. Look at that. 108.5. That puts Wolsey on pole position. And that's how you take pole at Interlagos. You wait till everybody else has finished. You wait until Blumchum has crashed. You wait until Riley said, I've had enough. Fingers has finished. Error and Mr. J have had enough. You wait till the track is clear. You put your foot through the floor and disappear up the road. Here comes Dunners. What's he got? Is he going to beat that? No, he is not. But my God, it was close. He goes onto the front row with Wolsey. So it just goes to show, leave it to the last minute. You will make some inroads. There we go. There is your entire grid for the rest of this race. Wolsey and Dunners are on the front row. That's the Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin, respectively. Friendly Dutch or Unfriendly Dutch, Bimmerguy for Red Bull and Alpha Tauri. Then we've got that was ridiculous, wasn't it? Then we've got Moggy and Blumchum, two Ferrari drivers. McShmee and Connor, Red Bull, Aston Martin. Ryan and Riley, Alpine and Alfa Romeo. Fingers for the Alpine. Error and Mr. J for Haas, who I'm looking to get some points out of today so they can burn McLaren in the constructors. Not that I dislike McLaren, I actually like McLaren, but I want to see them two do well. There we go. No, that was an absolute bullet of a lap. You've got to be pretty darn happy with that kind of lap time. It's very difficult to be disappointed with that. But the key is now to hold it from the start. So 25% race we've got here. And it will be led out by Wolsey of Alfa Romeo. I thought you'd be saying that at the beginning of the day, did you? Just getting blasted on my vape before we wait for it to load. Obviously, we've got a formation lap to come. get my Pepsi open. I'm not having another Red Bull. I'll probably die if I have another one. These energy drinks turn your wee purple and make your brain cells die. Refreshing libations. Right, come on. Why are we taking so long to load? There's only 13 people to load into the game, and only one of them is in Canada. I think only one of them is in Canada. Everyone else is in Europe, so it doesn't take long. Anyway, 30 seconds and we get cracking. A quick reminder of constructors, shall we? There you go. Ferrari, Red Bull, Aston Martin, Williams. They're the top four. They're the ones that need the points. Aston Martin need big points today to stay in the running. Red Bull just need to finish ahead of Ferrari. If that happens, we have got a little shootout for the last couple of races. We've got 3 races remaining after this. This is round 9. We have 12 in total. And that is math, my friends. That is on the fly math. Predicted strategy. One stop is soft, medium, soft. Around lap, between lap 7 or, depending which way you start round, 7 to 10 laps on soft tyres. 2 stopper, probably a slower option around here. But I think starting the mediums, give yourself an option for both, depending on safety car deployment, would be my advice. So Wolsey will lead them out, and I don't know why I'm steering my steering. My steering was not plugged in, obviously. Well, no, it is plugged in, but it's not turned on. I'm actually steering with Wolsey as he's going around, which is entirely unnecessary. You know it's gone wrong when I'm making brum 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 noises and changing gear at the same time. But I won't be doing that. So from the start, we've got Alfa Romeo on the front of the grid. There is the current championship leader, Dunners, in second place. Then we've got Friendly Dutch in third, Bimmerguy fourth, Moggy in fifth, Blumchum in sixth, McShmee in seventh, Connor in eighth, Ryan ninth, Riley in 10th, Fingers, so named because he has 27 fingers just on his right hand. He's only got 3 on the other hand. 30 fingers in total. They all look like big toes. Error is 12th, and Mr. J is 13th place. Let's solve this problem. Right, I think everything is now working as it should do. Been having a couple of technical issues lately, which I need to do a big. I did a big clean up of the computer, actually, deleting loads of temporary files, which has caused a few other issues to arise. I will be changing my computer very soon. Loads of shit coming up on Black Flag TV. I did talk about it earlier. I can't bother to talk about it again. We've got a couple of drivers in the Porsche Cup for this season, which is in the US of A. I will be streaming, broadcasting both Division B and Division C, or Division 2 or Division 3, for those of you who prefer numbers. That starts not this weekend, the weekend after that one. Let's go on board with Bimmerguy. Yeah, let's go on board with the Canadian Bimmerguy. And let's see, actually I want to go back a couple more. Let's see how people get away. That's 5 lights. When they go out, we will be racing. And that's not a great start from Blumton. He loses out 2 drivers coming around him. Is he going to lose any more going into the centre? You've got to be careful here. We've already lost 1 car. Gone sideways. That's Bimmerguy. He got tagged. He's gone sideways. He's going to have to reverse out of there. Hopefully no damage. That's the big key. Hopefully no damage. You can continue on. But he must have got tag going through there to be spinning in that direction. Because surely, if he'd got on the power and spun the back end out, it would have been the other way round. He would have spinned. So Wolsey in the lead of this race already. Leading from Dunners. Friendly Dutch is in 3rd place. Moggy up to 4th. Connor up to 5th. McShmee is in 6th place. Blumchum, a couple of places, lost those down to 2nd position. Really bogged down at the start. Couldn't get the car moving too quickly. Ryan in 8th place. Riley in 9th. Fingers in 10th place. Then Error and Mr. J, the 2 Haas cars. They are 11th and 12th respectively. Mr. J already 1.5 seconds back from his teammates. And right at the back, 7.3 seconds back, is Bimmerguy, who started up near the front and found himself drifting backwards after he spun at the LNR. So there is your leader already opening up a gap. We'll wait until more people cross the line. Then these split times will make much more sense. They don't make any sense at all at the moment. Tyres, who's got what on? Let's see what they've set out to do. So everybody, bar Friendly Dutch, McShmee and Blumchum, have gone for the soft compound tyre. They are looking to go super racy, super early, and get nice big gaps sorted. Gaps to leader already. Let's have a look. So there's your gaps to the leader, although the Dunners and Friendly Dutch don't make any sense at all. That's not been, that is not correct. Let's leave the telemetry on for a bit. I'll probably move it for a little while. So fastest lap from Wolsey. That is at the end of lap 3. And it looks like we have a casualty. Who is the casualty? Whoever it is seems to be up and running again. But who have we lost? Because Bimmerguy, Mr. J's made some big moves. Error in the pits. Or was it error that had some problems? May well be because he's already got into the pits. Mr. J's made some big moves because Blumchum, Connor, Bimmerguy all dropped down below him. That will be mistakes, to be fair, that have got them there. Wolsey leads from Dunners, Friendly Dutch and Moggy. McShmee in 5th place. Good solid points there for Red Bull. At the moment, not so great for Aston Martin. Connor needs to improve his track position, and quickly. Moggy in 4th place for Ferrari. His teammate Blumchum down at 11th against another team that want to maximise their points today. Drive-through penalty for error. Speeding under the VSC. So back into the pitch you will go. E-I-E-I-E-I-O. Right, we are back underway, of course. And racing. That we have been pretty much for the whole time. Wolsey fastest man on the track. He is 2.2 seconds clear of Dunners. Got himself up into 2nd place in the Aston Martin. Gap back to Friendly Dutch is just under a second. He's got that DRS open, looking to try and find a way through. Dunners, he's far enough ahead for not to be allowed to capitalise on that. Moggy just tucked in behind Friendly Dutch, only 0.3 of a second back. McShmee, now Moggy is kind of sandwiched between those two Red Bulls at the minute. He's in a Red Bull sandwich, and you always want to be careful when you're in that position, because this is where your teammate, in fact, you know, if you're the guy, if you're the guy at the back of those two teammates, and there's a 3-second warning, 4 fingers, you're in a really good position because your teammate can slow up enough to push the guy behind him back towards you, but not so much that they lose the place. Although what seems to have happened there is Friendly Dutch and McSmee have just decided to disappear off the road anyway, and Moggy down into 8th place. But yeah, as I was saying, they're in a great position now. They're running together, so they can kind of spur each other along. Can't really bump draft. It's not really something you can do in a Formula 1 car, but you can pull along your teammate. And if your teammate's faster, you can. Yeah, I don't remember anyone ever doing team orders in this game, but you could swap places. And that's a massive blow for Aston Martin in their charge for the championship as we lose Connor on lap 3 of this race. And is that going to bring out a safety car? It certainly looks like there's one coming out of the pits now. So they're all going to slow the car down. Is anybody going to go this early and change out those red wall soft compound tyre? Well, a bit early really. But I suppose if you're two-stopping, if your strategy is a two-stop strategy, then you could probably get away with it now. If you're one-stop in this race, too risky, I think. Especially if you want to gamble on another safety car. It's a big gamble for me. Oh, excuse me. But they're all going in. So Wolsey in, Dunner's in, Friendly Dutch in, Ryan's in, McShmee, however, he's on the medium tyres. There's no benefit to him going in this early on the mediums, so he'll just go and open up a nice big juicy gap. Now this is where. Do you think so? 101. So you think you could one stop this? Okay. Let's see then. He's going to have to change his tyres because obviously you have to use the options. So his situation. That's the situation. This is the situation. The situation is this: is that McShmee stayed out. He is 8.5 seconds clear. Now safety car comes in this lap. He's in a really, really strong position. Like very, very strong. Like next level. Like Hercules strong. Because the gap's closing really fast now anyway. Because everyone's just closing up and slowing up behind this Aston Martin safety car. And I think we should have the AMG Mercedes one because it's better looking. And I like it. I like it a lot. Well, to be fair, it's difficult. As you may well know, I don't get a lot of opportunity to drive much. Not that I would go very fast if I did, but I just don't really get much opportunity to drive much because I've got a lot of shit to do really, and I've got this stuff and then I've got work and that. But when I do drive, I tend to do most of it on either ACC or GT7, which is pretty because my preference for GT cars. Not that I dislike F1 anyway, I just prefer driving GT cars. Probably because they're slower and I can drive them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Plus, when I'm missing out on races, usually on GT7. But that said, I do like to drive this track a lot, so I should really know things like tyre deck and stuff. But I'll get around to it. But we're still stuck behind this safety car, and it's taking big chunks out of this race right now. Lineup is as follows. McShmee is in the lead. He's on the medium compound tyres. He is yet to change, as has Blumcher. Wolsey, blistering pace in qualifying, and led this race until he came in just one lap ago under the safety car. Safety car brought about by the demise of Connor. Then we've got Dunners in fourth place. He's changed out to the medium compound tyre. He's going to run to the end on those. Friendly Dutch has changed out to the soft compound tyre. Ryan is on the mediums. Moggy in 7th place is also on the mediums. Riley as well. Fingers, Bimmerguy, Mr. J and Error all running medium compound tyres. So the only one really at the moment to watch is going to be Friendly. So look, I'm not suggesting that you should watch anybody else. But what I mean by the only one to watch is the one that's going to be the most dangerous is going to be this guy, Friendly Dutch. And the safety car is in this lap. What kind of exit? Now, bear in mind that it's decided by McShmee as to when we go. Now, safety car will peel off to the left-hand side. What is McShmee going to do? Is he going to catch everyone napping? And Friendly Dutch has kind of preempted it. But it's still not happening. What is he doing? He's trying not to give up too much slipstream. Getting down this straight here into the centre S's, and Friendly Dutch did have to jump initially, but just got caught sleeping a little bit, and he's just a bit further back than he'd like to be. Gets that turned in, gets it turned again, get on that power, use all that power, keep it within the white lines, do not go off that track, and he's going through the middle. He's going through the middle. This will take big dangly brass balls, under braking little tap. He spun the Ferrari of Blumchum, and I think there's going to be some sort of penalty for him there, because that was not a racing incident. That was going too fast into the corner incident, and not realising that the guy in front of you was just not slowing down as quickly as you would have liked. I think Friendly Dutch is going to pick up a little penalty there. No doubt in my mind that and that had a massive effect on Blumchum, because he is now in 12th place. The only thing slower than Blumchum right now is me, basically. But we know he's got some pace. We know he'll make his way back up. But McShmee, there he is in the lead of this race. He is 7/10 up from Wolsey. Wolsey, who did finish on pole. We're at the exact plumb middle, the halfway point, and it looks a little bit like this. That was shocking, wasn't it, James? Absolutely shocking. Spun him out and left him for dead. I think Blumchum was just lucky that he didn't spin into the wall and burst into flames and die. Although the last bit might not actually be part of the coded into the game. I might be exaggerating a little bit there. So we've got McShmee. He leads 200th of a second, 2/10 of a second from Wolsey, the pit stop, not the pit stop, the qualification number 1 man. Dunners is in 3rd. Friendly Dutch is in 4th place. He's just over a second away, which means no DRS support for him. But he's the only one on the soft compound tyres, and you would expect that he will, he's going to get a penalty, right? No doubt in my mind that's going to get sent to the stewards, and he's going to have to go into a darkened closet with a naked bear as a punishment for that, and a naked, hungry, horny bear, and will have to suffer the punishment for that. And the only way he's going to be mitigating any punishment he gets is by moving his way as far forward as possible and building as big a gap as possible. And everyone wave at James Wiggins, who's joined us in chat. He got a corner at a fictional racetrack named after, and that was a friendly hello. That was more of a racing incident, but even still, that I think that might get looked at as well. And is he going to spin another car out? He's only gone and spun another car out. Friendly Dutch, I tell you what, these Dutchies are loving this aggressive behaviour. And Wiggy and I know another Dutchman like that. There's a few of them that love to spin people out. That was that was quite malicious. That one. I would say the one on Blumchum was maybe not getting slowed down quick enough. That one just there was absolute, just piss taking. That was someone that just wasn't happy and decided to have a little dig. So he comes into the pits. He didn't really capitalise on those soft tyres enough, and ended up. He's gone in. He's changed his front wing because of some damage. So there we go. That's what happens when you use your front wing to push another car. And has he just quit this race? Where is he? Where's Friendly Dutch gone? I think Friendly Dutch is just, it shows him somewhere. I think he's disappeared. We'll find him again in a minute. According to that, he is still in the pit box but invisible. Oh, there he goes. Here he comes out of the pits. Yeah, sorry, I was saying to everybody how we have named a new corner at a racetrack after James Wiggins, Wiggy Stargroup as he's otherwise known. He had not spin a corner. It's a racetrack with no names for corners, so we've called it Wiggy's Wiggler. It's a lovely little left, right, combo that really catches you out, and it's on anyone plays GT7. It's the reverse Yamagiwa track for anyone that plays it. It's that little thing there in Sector 3, and it's now called Wiggy's Wiggler. Probably means nothing to you F1 supporters, but I don't give a toss. I've got time to fill, and I'm going to fill it with whatever I want. Wolsey back in the lead of this race. He is just over a second clear of McShmee. He's not going to be vulnerable to the DRS at this stage. We're on lap 12 of 18 laps. Wolsey on 6-lap old medium tyres. McShmee on very, very old medium tyres. 11 laps he's done on them. He's going to have to pit at some stage because you have to use 2 compounds of tyre. Dunner's running in 3rd place. He's the reigning champion, and he is the current championship leader. And at the moment, it's very important because with Blumchum down in 8th, Moggy down in 5th, Ferrari leading the constructors as they are, anything that Aston Martin can do with Dunners and Fingers, Dunners and it is Fingers, isn't it? Anything they can do to improve, it's Dunners and Connor who's out. To improve that kind of gap would be great, because it's such a tight gap at the moment at the top. But we knew going into this, with only 3 races left, Aston Martin needed a really good performance to finish both cars ahead of Ferrari, really in both races, to close up that gap to make it more of a battle and less of an uphill struggle. But lap 13 of 18, Wolsey's been very dominant already here today. This is his first race and in qualifying. He is 1.8 seconds clear of Dunners. Dunners is 5.9 up from Riley. So the front three, or the front two, pulling away, leaving Riley back in third place. He's got Moggy in the Fezzer, crawling all over him. And he's putting Bimmerguy, the Canadian, along with him. So there's three of them there, battling it out for the last podium spot. Then Fingers, he stayed out of trouble really. Didn't qualify too well, but he stayed out of trouble. He hasn't really got into any scrapes. He's just been plodding around, getting the job done in the Alpine. He's a reserve driver. I'm under no obligation to remember what car he drives because he's reserve. He's 3.8 seconds back from that battle for third place, but comfortably ahead of McShmi in seventh. And Friendly Dutch did not finish, so he went in, changed out those tyres, and ended up not finishing the race. Now, was that a bit of? We saw that he was a little bit angry with that little dig. I think it was on Ryan, if I remember rightly. And he obviously had the little one we turned Blumchum around. But the one on Ryan was shockingly bad in comparison to that. But is this a little bit of the rage creeping in, and he's just like, oh fuck it, I can't be arsed, and ripping the lead out the back of the computer kind of jobby, just to give yourself some time to calm down for the second race. Possibly Mr. J. Now, he said it was important that Haas got points today because they're only 14 points behind McLaren at the bottom of the Constructors' Championship. With 3 races to go, with Mr. J being in 8th, his teammate being in 11th, very distinct possibility. If they can hold on to these positions for these last few laps, then they're going to get the points needed to leapfrog McLaren and put them at the bottom of the Constructors' Championship and give themselves a nice little pat on the back for a job well done. Blumchum struggled to get back into this after he got spun by Friendly Dutch. He's way back in 9th place in that Ferrari. The gap to Mr. J ahead is 10.4 seconds. And with them just completing lap 14 of 18 here, it's going to be a struggle, particularly here at Intelagos, where the lap session is like a minute-long lap. So you really have to be chunking through the time. Mr. J is in the pits, so that's actually giving Blumchum much more impetus. Mr. J coming out of the pits now. Will he come out ahead of Ryan? That's the question. No, he does not. Well, he does, because Ryan goes into the pits behind him. So that moves up error. That moves up. We'll keep Mr. J where he is, but that moves up error, which gives more points to the Haas team. Kudos. Whoop whoop. Sound of the police. Right at the back. So how's it looking? Wolsey still out in front. Thoroughly deserved. Unquestionable that he would do anything but win this race at the moment. They are behind the safety car. But how long are they going to be behind the safety car is the question. Wolsey leads from Dunners. Dunners is second at the moment. Riley's going to close up on him. Now at the moment, the top 5 all running on the medium compound tyre. It will make it to the end of the race, there's no question about that. But with Shmi, Moggy, Blumchum, Error, Mr. J, Ryan all going in and getting themselves some juicy soft tyres, I think those 5 out in front will be looking desperately in their mirrors to see who's coming. And believe me, when this safety car goes in, if it ever goes in, they will be coming. And they will be coming fast, they will be coming with traction, they will be coming with energy, and they will be coming with grip. So once they get there, it's going to be very difficult for you in those less grippy, worn tyres to keep those flyers on the soft tyres away. And we just need I just need to cough. We just need that safety car to pull in and give us a couple of laps of action. What happened last time we saw Dunners put soft tyres on? Well, it was raining. He put soft tyres on. Nobody else thought of it, and he absolutely annihilated them. Is anyone else going to do that today? Anyone else that put the soft tyres on just going to absolutely annihilate the field and start carving their way through like a tramp holding a machete on a train. And that looked to be someone off the racetrack, but I don't know who it was. So just keeping their eye in. They've come out of Jean Gal. They are now on the start-finish straights. Where is the safety car? Safety car is in the pits, and they are away. And we're just about to complete lap 16. That gives us 2 solid laps of racing left here at Interlagos before we go reverse grid feature race. Wolsey just desperately trying to hold off Dunners, and already that is Fingers. What is going on with him? Down, down, down. You can't park out there. And he spins, and Fingers is out of this race. Bye-bye, Fingers. You've got no bits of front of your car left. Will that bring about another safety car and end this race under the safety? I bet Wolsey, Dunners, and Riley hope so. I don't. I want this shit to continue. But we will see. He's not in the greatest of positions, but it looks like they're just going to retire him and leave him there. But there is only 2 laps remaining. So here we go. Wolsey in the lead. 1.8 seconds he's pulled out over Dunners. How has he managed to do that at this late stage of the race? He must know this track like the back of his own willy. Dunners is in second. He is 1.1 seconds clear of Riley. Now Riley ahead of Bimmerguy just half a second. But we've got the on charge now. We've got McShmee, we've got Moggy, we've got Blumchum. They're all on the soft compound tyres. This is the final lap here at Interlagos. Penalties. Let's have a look at penalties. How's that going to affect the end of this race? 5-second penalty for Wolsey. So Dunners is going to take another win here, another win in the season, and open up his gap at the top of the table. And all he has to do is stay within 5 seconds of Wolsey. He's under some pressure. There is some racing going on further down. Moggy and Blumchum and Bimmerguy all going at it. Bimmerguy desperately trying to hold them off on those medium tyres. McShmee has already made his way into the top 4. He is getting racy. He's going to jump Riley. Riley's got a 3-second penalty. And we are heading down towards the last couple of corners. Here comes Wolsey. Here he heads down into Juncal. Changes down into second gear. Third gear. Gets the car rotated. Back on the power. Heading round. He's going to win here at Interlagos. This first race. Absolutely binned it. I know it was terrible, Darryl. Awful, awful. Just pushing too hard, then you went on the grass, mate. Tried to power out, that's what it was. There we go. Wolsey crosses the line, wins this race, but with the unserved penalty, will lose out to Dunners. Dunners, McShmee, Bimmerguy, all stealing the top 3 from Wolsey. He might have finished the race first, but that penalty is absolutely cost him. So Dunners will take the big W here. So it's Dunners from McShmee from Bimmerguy. They're your top 3. And what racing from them. McShmee, though, I don't know who they're going to vote for driver today, but I'm giving it to McShmee because he was way down the order. Blumchum, yeah, I mean, Blumchum did well, but to be fair, he did get spun out by Friendly Dutch. Yeah, let them have it. The computer can do all the math that I can't be asked to do. There is your surprise winner today. That is Dunners, who nicked it just because of unserved penalty. Can't complain about that. McShmee, great drive from him to dive his way up into the podium places, and of course a great finish as well for whoever the other driver was, I forgot. Bimmerguy, of course it is, of course. How can I forget Bimmerguy? Terrible of me. There we go. That's the sprint race done. On to the feature race. The grid for the feature race will look a little bit something like this. It'll be Ryan, Mr. J, Error, Riley, Blumchum, Moggy, Wolsey, Bimmerguy, McShmee, Dunners, Fingers, Friendly Dutch, and Connor. in that order. 2 did not finish as Friendly Dutch did not finish as, and neither did Connor from Scotland. So there we go. Done and dusted race number 1. Race number 2 coming up very, very soon. It will be, of course, as you know, it will be a 25%. No, it won't. It'll be a 50% reverse grid race. I think it's only the top 10 get reversed, though, not all of them. The guys at the back have to stay at the back because they are classed to be shizzle with frizzle. Not a bad shout, actually, but you're giving some impetus to the midfield guys. But now there we go. That's the 18 lap race over. The room will change, and that will change from short 18 to reverse grid and 36 laps. Where stretch is going to be much more important, I think. But there we go. Off is the qualifying. 36 laps is the race. There'll be a couple of minutes in between. We usually have a couple of minutes before we can pee and drink and laugh and love. I don't know about the last 2, if they do any of those, but they could do, if they wanted to, in the short break. So what's everyone doing for Christmas this year? I'm joking. I'm joking. It's Valentine's Day next, isn't it? So basically, if you want a new steering wheel, you better get some practice in. I'm sorry, I'm just a fucking animal, really, aren't I? Right, back shortly with some puppies. Or maybe not with some puppies.
It's time for today's race at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache here in Sao Paulo. And as any of the 80,000 capacity crowd will tell you, this is going to be a fantastic race. It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Intelagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. 2 very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junsao into one of the 2 DRS zones will be key to any overtaking prospects today.
There you go. I know you've seen it before. Well, you may not have seen it before. You may not have watched from the beginning, but there it is anyway. Just to fill in a bit of time while we wait for bits and pieces to talk about. Be right back. we have returned. That was a long break. I almost had time for a whole chicken. Yeah. So we've got 36 laps left to go of Interlagos. That was a bit fun, the first race, 18 lap race. How good's the second race going to be? And you will hear me munching crisps sporadically because I was hungry. And unfortunately the kids have left with a shit one. Although I did find some pickled onion monster munch. So hold the line. Yummy. If anyone wants to replace my pickled onion monster munch for me for free, I'll happily give my PayPal. You can send me the money for some pickled onion monster munch, and I will feature you in the next stream. Just you, nobody else. I'll just follow you around, eating monster munch and talking about you in a favourable manner because you sent me money and crisps. Anyway, we move on. This is the reverse grid race. It will be 36 laps here of this feature race here at Interlagos. Dunners, great win in the previous round, the previous race as well. And it is really ramping it up towards the end of the season to take another championship home to the UK. I'm assuming that's where he takes home to. He says he's from the UK. I don't know. That was rubbish, wasn't it? Grimy has joined. Has he joined too little, too late? Will he get into the room? Because he didn't race in the first one. I thought he was there, but he was not. So just waiting for everybody to load up. The top 10 will reverse themselves, not on purpose. It will be done for them, and they will. That will be a grid essentially. Reverse top 10 from the previous race. And we will be away. We will do 36 laps here. Two stopper is probably your fastest way to do the longer one. It's not super abrasive here at Intelagos, so I've been told. Deg's not too bad. So you probably could one stop it. But I think if you want to go proper balls out on some soft compound tyres, you are going to want to stop this just to make sure that you don't screw up those tyres. And another monster munch footprint before we start, eh? It's taking ages to load, isn't it? I wonder if I could eat a packet of Monster Munch and just do one of them ASMR videos. People love all that shit, don't they? I did do one for motor cars, but I did that for me because I have trouble sleeping, so sometimes I like just to listen to the sound of cars. So I made an ASMR motor car video and stuck it on the YouTube. So when I can't sleep, I just literally just play that and sleep like a baby, like a big fat baby log. But if anyone enjoys the sound of a balding, fat, middle-aged man with a gammy leg eating Monster Munch, yeah, go have at it. I'm a little concerned how long it's taking to load, and I'm wondering if that's because Grimy joined after they were starting to load. And if we don't hear a message soon that everybody out and restart the lobby or something along those lines today. But it does. It is my one criticism of this game is it takes a fucking age to load between races. I think every game has its faults. That's probably one of them for here. Oh, there we go. Finally starting. I want to see them dudes in the orange jackets right there. I think they should do something more than just kind of the same shit. I think they should Macarena or something. Do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight. Just do something fun. Right, so here we go. Formation lap, as you would expect. Ryan will lead everybody out. So Ryan, Mr. J, front row, Error and Riley on row 2. Row 3 will be Blumchum and Moggy. Row 4 is Wolsey and Bimmerguy. Bimmerguy, of course, coming third in the last race. Wolsey was in first, and that penalty just cost him so many places. Soft, medium is the optimal strategy for me. Although I would start on the mediums. I'll go mediums. I'll probably go medium, soft, medium, or medium, soft. I'd definitely start on the mediums because you know what the safety cars are going to do. Yeah, things obviously, so row 5 will be McShmee and Dunners, who were top 2. And then Fingers, Friendly Dutch and Connor remain unchanged in 11th, 12th and 13th. And Grimy didn't make it, so get yourself on the YouTube and watch it from here while thinking about whether you want to buy me some Monster Lunch. So, we're expecting to see these quicker guys, Dunners, McSmee, Bimmerguy, Wolsey, Blumchum. I think Blumchum actually is in quite a good position, bearing in mind that Blumchum got spun out by Friendly Dutch in the last race and probably would have finished higher but for that. Being in 5th here, I think is a good position for Blumchum to start in. A really good position for Blumchum to start in. And in fact, that is who we're going to go on board with for the start of this future race. Because Blumchum previously struggled to get it away from the line. Got a bit bogged down coming away from the line in race number 1. Got swallowed up by 2 or 3 cars. And that kind of cost him some places. Also, I mean, you've got to commend the performance actually of Bimmerguy. Because Bimmerguy, we saw going left when everyone else was turning right in the centre S's on lap 1. But we're just waiting for everyone to line up behind. I think everyone is there. Light 2, 3, 4. There are 5 lights. We are ready to go here at Interlagos. Big wheel spin from the Haas in front. And off he goes. And I think that's going to be some carbon fibre on the racetrack. The Alpine just spinning a little bit. Fingers, massive collision with Blumchum. 5-second penalty for him. Blumchum does survive. Is there any damage on his car though? He's tucked in behind the AlphaTauri. It looks like we're going to have a safety car already. Or are we? Fingers goes ahead of Blumchum. And to be fair, probably shouldn't have done, bearing in mind that he hit him up the arse harder than... I was going to say something really inappropriate then. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Because as much as I really don't give a shit about offending people, I don't particularly want to get banned from YouTube. So I'm not going to say. Dark thoughts in open Paris head. I think it is just a virtual safety car. I don't see a safety car coming out on track. So VSC it is. Or is it? Or are we green light? We are. Green light, green light. So Blumchum really losing out there again. Not his day. And Fingers going into the back of him didn't help. So Ryan still maintains the lead of this race from Mr. J. How long can these guys hold on? What a move from Wolsey. Look at that. Made up so many places, up to 3rd already. Moggy, big mover as well. Fastest lap from Ryan, as you would expect, being that he's out in front. That will change pretty darn quickly though. But Wolsey, the man, the myth, the legend. How about that for a great, great start? Just how many places did he gain? Because I'm not sure. 4 places he gained. Fingers also gained 4 places, but he smashed it back the Blumchum on the way to doing it. Error lost 10 places. He's in the pits repairing the damage. He literally, from the line, just fucked off left and never to return. Well, he will return eventually. He's in the pits repairing all of that yummy damage. There is a mechanic somewhere rubbing his hands together going, you have to get parting for that, mate. And there we go. And then charging the fortune for your hire car. So there we go. That is the coming up towards the end of lap 2. Wolsey tucked in there. Is the slipstream enough to make this move on Mr. J? What an exit from Junkow he got there. Side by side they are. And it's a see you later, Haas. Big wave from Wolsey. And through he goes into 2nd place. Gets it slowed down. DRS enabled. He did that without DRS. It has given Wolsey a 1.6. Ryan, I'm sorry. 1.4 second lead. It's changed in that time. It's not 1.6, not 1.5. And Moggy gets past Mr. J. Bimmerguy is going to be the next man trying to make the move. He does that. Breezes past. Almost like Mr. J's not there. Who's next? A-Riley goes. It's almost as though Mr. J is kind of letting these cars through. And in all honesty, I don't think he should. He's got no obligation to get out of their way. He's ahead of them on the racetrack. Pass him. Don't expect him to move out of your way because you're faster. And a message to Mr. J when you watch this, if you watch this. Next time you start at the front of the grid, you don't have to fucking move for anyone, mate. If they want to pass you, they've got to do it properly. You put your car where you want to put it. Because for me, there was a couple of people there, you just kind of given up the corner and let them go. You don't have to do that. If they want to pass you, make them do it properly. And you guys that are quick, you should know better. Suck it. That's what I say. If you don't like it, okay. There's my little run over. Wolsey with the fastest lap as you would expect. Now he's moving free. Here is where McShmee makes the move. This time he's up the inside. Again, I think Mr. Jacobs should have defended that and just made it hard for him to get through. Dunners is going to be the next man attacking. Is he going to make a way through? We're keeping an eye on Wolsey, see if he gets there. There's some DRS there from Mr. J. Up the inside goes Dunners. Does he get it slowed down enough? Track limits for me. That's a track limits penalty for Dunners. If he gets away with that, I will lick the inside of one of my shoes. Because that was properly track limits. He did. You've got to say he gained an advantage from that, so he's quite lucky to have got away with that. Very much got away with that. Fingers is through. Mr. J is. He's got full way down the order now. Blumchum through, Friendly Dutch through, Connor through, and he's at the back now, ahead of Error. Don't think you should have given up those places quite so easy. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. Moggy is up into the lead of this race. You thought it might have been Wolsey making that move, but Ryan all the way down. He's lost loads and loads and loads of places. And the person that capitalised most, it wasn't Wolsey, who was 6 tenths behind him. It's this guy, Moggy. Moggy and Bimmerguy. They're the two that have gone through first and second. Wolsey in third. He's gained 4 places, but he hasn't gained any further than that. It's now Bimmerguy and Moggy making the big moves. And the 3-second time penalty for Mr. J. He's ahead of Ryan. Ryan's struggling. And remember, he started on pole. Friendly Dutch just starting to move his way forward. Wolsey, what's happened to him? He's diving, he's off the track, and I'm sorry, Wolsey, you can't park that there, man. So it's all gone horribly wrong for Wolsey. He was racing up at the top end, but not anymore. And a spin! He's round and round he goes, and it's gone horribly wrong. Down the hill he goes. Can he get it back on the track anytime this month? He does get the car going again. Error 40 seconds behind him. That is devastating for Wolsey. Listen, we're only on lap 5. We're in 36 laps. He can make this change, but it's not going to be easy. He makes his way back around Ryan, gaining that place. Now, look at Dunners. Dunners on the soft compound tyres. So he is showing his intentions. And there's one overtaking that as they go into the ZRS ahead of McShmee. McShmee and Riley looking to go long, as is Blumchum and Friendly Dutch on, and the Error, of course, on those hard compound tyres. But Error has only just put the hard compound tyres on, having picked to repair. Now, Moggy and Bimmerguy, they're the leaders of this race at the moment, first and second. Half a second between them, running 4 seconds clear of Dunners. Dunners on those soft compound tyres. He's only going to have until about lap 11, lap 12 maybe, to get the most out of those tyres and make it count. And the best way to make it count is to get right away from McShmee. And we know, look, McShmee is no slouch. Even on the harder compound tyres, he's always going to be there or thereabouts. He's always going to be crawling all over the back of you and forcing you to make a mistake that lets him through. But that doesn't mean that you have to. And I think at this point, this is where Dunners needs to forget about fuel management, forget so much about tyre management. He's starting on the softs for a reason, and he's the only one on the softs. Friendly Dutch just changed to it. The only way you make that strategy work is you ignore everything in your body that says save tyres, save fuel. when you're on the early stage of the Grand Prix. You just absolutely go and smash it. And you can worry about clawing back some of that excessive fuel, some of that excessive tyre wear, some of that extra burned ERS. You can worry about all that later when you've got yourself a much better trackside position. That's your first port call. And DNF for Ryan, he's retired from this session. All over for him. And bear in mind, he started on pole here. And it just didn't work. And Ryan is out of this race. Dropping down into last place when Wolsey, who's gone from hero to zero, well, what can you say? He led so much of the first race, the sprint style racing. And then, yeah, he got a penalty. He just didn't go 100% right for him. And McShmee, on those hard tyres, with some slipstream, has got past Dunners, who's on the soft. Now, this is the section where the soft tyres should come into the fall. You come round this curve of the Sol, down into this big left-hander. Track limits, boys. Track limits. They go on the power. And can he stick now with McShmee? Or is McShmee just going to open up this gap? And surely this section is where having the soft tyres is going to be much more beneficial to you, as long as it's still within the grippy range, of course. But it doesn't look like he has got any answer to the pace of McShmee. Right, so let's have a look at the back of the pack. There is Wolsey. It went from going very, very well to being an absolute disaster over the course of just a couple of laps. He's 9.3 seconds behind Error. Running on the hard tyres, he's going to go as long as possible. Hopefully longer than the safety car likely would detect or depict, should I say. Friendly Dutch is on the soft combat tyres. He's already been in the pits. Can he get past Blumchum without putting him into a spin? As Blumchum just sees Friendly Dutch coming, a couple of places behind and decides he's going to get out of the way and gets himself ahead of Fingers. I'm joking, of course, that's not why he did it. Yeah. Fingers is just ahead of Mr. J. Mr. J, 30 seconds clear at the moment of Friendly Dutch, 1.8 seconds behind Blumchum. So Fingers making the move on Blumchum. These two duking it out at the moment. Fingers, of course, in the Alpine. Blumchum, full-time driver in the Ferrari. Fingers being the reserve driver in that Alpine. And Connor has picked up a penalty. He is next up the road. He is 1.9 seconds up the road from that battle between Blumchum and Fingers. And he is 1.5 himself. He's 1.5. And Freddie Dutch into the pits again, this time for medium tyres. He likes the pits, this boy today. Loving the pits. He's loving pits. Please don't copyright infringe me. It's just an advert. It's a free advert. So Riley up into the dizzy heights of 4th place. He should be up there, supported by his teammate, to be fair. But Wolsey currently languishing just ahead of Friendly Dutch, who's pit for some more tyres. But Riley's 3.6 seconds behind this man, McShmee, who makes driving on hard compound tyres look like they are the greatest super soft tyres in the history of racing. He just makes it look so effortless. Bimmer guy, there he is. He's running in 2nd place. Him and Moggy really good control of this race at the moment. It's only 3 seconds clear of McShmee in 3rd, and that's a penalty for Mr. J. Bimmer guy is crawling all over the back of Moggy, not letting him pull away. Now the important thing for these two at the moment is how much they fancy working together. Because if they are prepared to give a little bit of working together, they can use that to their advantage to pull away from everybody else. And then maybe later on down the line is have a little battle between themselves as to who's the top dog. We'll see what happens with that. But Moggy in the lead, he is... So what, lap 10 is just completed. We're on lap 11 now. Pit window, a little while yet before we're going to see that. And actually, no, safe, no, not full-on safety car just yet. How about that? We're almost safely to the 1/3 point of the race. With just the one retirement, that's Ryan, 1995, who is a did not finish. But everybody else is still in it to win it. But the man I thought was, and I genuinely thought after lap 1, when he'd carved his way up to near the top, I genuinely thought Wolsey was going to be an odds-on favourite. And we have lost Connor from this session. Can we see where he is stricken? If he's stricken. So done as he's coming through, can we see where Connor's car is? That's the question. And it looks like it's going to be a safety car. So he's gone past Connor. I don't know where he is. He's going to be around there somewhere. There he is to the side of the race, I think. So Eric's just coming around now and to see if we can find the dead car of Connor. As some jump into the pits, take this opportunity to really make it count. He's over on the side there somewhere. We'll have a little go there so you can see him. So Connor has left the session. He's had enough of whatever is going wrong for him today. That put Freddie Dutch into last place. When the last place the people left in the race. Let's say that, shall we? So McShmee leads this race. He is on the hard compound tyres. They are 11 laps old, as are the tyres for O'Reilly and for Blumchum. Moggy and Biragay also now running a hard compound, and they are 11 laps fresher on those hard compounds. 2 laps for Dunners on the medium compound. He went balls out with a soft and got him up to third, or kind of in and around third, but didn't give him quite enough impetus to make the big boy moves. And just found that once he changed the tyre, he wasn't maybe as high as the tyre, the early tyre might suggest. Then we're looking at Mr. J. Mr. J, for me, was there's a fine line between racing aggression and just downright being a dick. And I'm all for a kind of balance between those two. Did kind of sorry, baby. For a minute there, I thought someone was disappearing, but they're not. Yes, as I said about Mr. Joe, I'm all for a balance between the two. Between sort of that was close. We have got one going off there. All got very bunched up, didn't they? Yeah. So yeah, I'm all for a kind of balance between like super full of aggression and a bit of racing courtesy. But I think there was a few cars that Mr. J kind of let go past me far too easily. Look, I'm slow and I can guilty of it sometimes myself. When you have the car coming up behind you, you think, well, there's no point in me holding this guy up. You're going to be much faster than me. But you're under no obligation to do that. You're in front. It's down to them to pass you and not take you out. And I think you should be a little bit more aggressive in that scenario and just say bollocks. You want to get past me. But safety car is in this lap. McShmee does decide who and when they go, and they go. McShmee says, "Let's have it, large." And yes, well, he does it well enough that he doesn't even give up any slipstream really to Riley. Riley just able to keep up with him, and already out of centre S, and McShmee is on that power, and away he goes, just opening up a little bit straight away from Riley in second. Moggy running in third place, Bimagaya in fourth, Dunners up in fifth place. He's on the medium compound tyre. Can he make that medium count? Can he make that grippier tyre just give him a little bit of an advantage over those guys on the hard tyres in front and behind him. Blumjum, he's running in 6th place. He's 2.4 seconds already behind Dallas. Brendan might be behind him. What's it called? Yeah, safety car thing. But McShmee is your leader. He is 9 tenths. 9 tenths ahead of Riley. Riley running, of course, for the Alfa Romeo team. He is 6 tenths up from Moggy. Let you cry. 8 tenths of a second up from Bimmerguy, who is crawling or trying to crawl away from the Dunners Blumchum. It was a... Where is it? No. Yeah, it's Dunners crawling all over the back of him. He's going to make the move, does Dunners. He got on the brakes then. I think the yellow flag came out. But he'd already had the move done, so I don't think he was necessarily obligated to get quite so quickly on the brakes. And I thought he was flying there. So what appears to be occurring this time? There we go. He's already ahead of Bimmerguy. I can't make that overtake just yet. It's got to be done on the racetrack, I'm afraid. There's nothing. Sure. So I was talking to myself in the because I was looking for something. Anyway, McShmee, he under safety. It is a full safety car. So in goes McShmee. What about Moggy? What's he going to do? Does he pull left? He stays out. Dunners stays out. Bimmerguy. He stays out, of course. McShmee in the pits. Blumjump, he's in the pits. Riley's in the pits. Error. No mistake from him. He's in the pits. Woolsey. What about him? What's he going to do? It's not gone so well for him. Woolsey. It's been a difficult race so far for him. And we're not far off the halfway point here. If this was race number 1, this should be finishing in 3 laps, but it's not. So it's not going to finish in 3 laps, it's going to finish in 20. How about that? 20 more laps of Intelagos. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. What can you say except for Coppola? So now Wolsey's got no wing, he's got no fans. He's got to get that car back now, hasn't he? He's got to get it all the way around the track. Yes, it's under safety car conditions. Yes, they're going a bit slower, but it's going to cost him so much time because he's got to go in now. He's got to repair that car. He's only had those tyres on for 3 laps. He doesn't want to be pitted again. But that's what happens when you lose control of your car and you put it into a wall. So he'll be behind Friendly. Oh, I don't know if he will be behind Friendly Dutch. The Friendly Dutch is about 6.5 months behind everybody else. In fact, he's so far behind he might still be the 1940s. Moggy, there is your leader. I wonder if you can get a cockpit shot where you can see the driver's face colour. So behind the safety car, it is Moggy from Dunners, Bimmerguy from Mr. J, McShmee from Blumchum, Riley from Fingers, from Error from Woolsey, from Friendly Dutch. And talking of Error, we've got Connor out, we've got Ryan out. Woolsey, it just goes from bad to worse. I'll tell you what, Woolsey's luck today, if he fell into a barrel full of boobs, he would come out with his thumb in his mouth. That is the kind of luck that Woolsey's having today. You just got to stop walking under ladders, my friend. Stop walking under ladders, get yourself a lucky rabbit's foot, and just hope for the best. What else can you say? So safety car, we don't know if it's coming in this lap. It probably should. As we see Friendly Dutch desperately trying to get a bit closer. Woolsey still 33 seconds off, of course. but he's been into the pits again. Hopefully this will be his last, possibly his last time. Oh, can't be. He's on the mediums, it won't be. I can't see his mediums lasting 20 laps. I don't care how good you think they are. They're not going to last 20 laps, I don't think. So, does the car go into the pits? And the answer to your right, another lap under the safety car. Safety car not pulling in. Lap 17 of 36 here. We're in Sao Paulo in Brazil at the Autodromo José Carlos Pache, otherwise known as Interlagos. It is one of the best tracks on the F1 calendar. It is infinitely better than Monaco, but then so is having an enema. Infinitely better than a race at Monaco. The only race at Monaco is qualifying. It's I've been watching F1. With reveal my age here, but I've been watching F1 for the better part of 30 years, and I can honestly tell you that in the last 20 I've never enjoyed a Monaco Grand Prix. It's just boring. I'd rather watch Indy cars going in reverse while being blindfolded and headbutted every time someone does a lap. I'm going to have to watch Monaco if I can help it. There we go. But luckily, nobody so far has done a stream where I've had to do Monaco. If someone does it on purpose now, I'm going to send a dwarf to punch you in the cock. Right, so still no safety car in, and that is what happens when there's no when the safety car stays out for too long. I start talking too much shit. Right, there we go. Safety car is coming in this lap. I have talked Bert Marlowe's ear off, and in he goes. And it is going to be Moggy that decides what happens next. Just trying to squeeze some warmth into that, some temperature through them tyres. Dunner's desperately waiting for Moggy to make a move, for Moggy to make a choice. And you've got to try and almost second guess what they're going to do. Moggy being in the lead is on the hard compound tyres, and side by side, just having to back out again. Moggy saying, no, you can wait. I will go when I'm ready. And there he goes. And I just caught Dunners a little bit by surprise. I think because once you've tried it 2 or 3 times, you kind of expecting it. So there we go. Dunners is watching Moggy start to open up that gap, which is 6.7 seconds. For the want of a second, 7 seconds. 700ths of a second, sorry. Bimmerguy, almost identical time behind Dunners. McShmee is half a second back. Blumchum half a second back from that in 5th. Then we've got Riley half a second back in 6th. Fingers is 6 to 700 back in 7th. Wolsey, the unluckiest man on the racetrack today. Really unlucky. Do not let this guy buy your lottery ticket because you don't stand a fucking chance today. He is in 8th place, is 1.1 seconds back from Fingers. Mr. J is half a second back from there, with error back another half second. And Friendly Dutch is 1 day, 51 hours, 679 minutes back. It's 1 minute 51.6 back, and I don't quite understand why he's that far back. It's just a lap and a bit, isn't it? Lap and a bit. Penalty there for Fingers. Let's have a look at all the penalties in total, actually. Let's have a look at total penalties. So Fingers with 6 seconds, Wolsey with 5 seconds, Error and Mr. J all with 6 seconds. It's not enough for Friendly Dutch. You can add them all together and give them to one person, and Friendly Dutch still isn't going to be any closer. So at the moment, no change to the back 5. Back 5, including Friendly Dutch. Because they just out front, Moggy is still leading this race on the hard compound tyre, doing a very good job keeping Moggy at bay. Dunner's doing a very good job at sticking with him. which is infinitely more important, I think, than yeah, so Moggy in the lead of this race. 3 tenths back. Dunner's on the medium compound. I don't know if I want to do that. He's the medium compound tyre. 11 laps on those mediums already. I'm going to have to start thinking about getting rid and putting on some new, fresh booty boots. When will we do that? Probably wait for Moggy to blink. As long as the tyres are holding out, I think he'll wait for Moggy and see what Moggy does. May do opposite. May just go in first and try the undercut. Bimmerguy is on the hard tyres, the 9 laps on those hard tyres as well. So at the moment, Moggy's sandwiched between those 2 hard tyre runners of Moggy and Bimmerguy, which can be quite a daunting place to be, because you don't want to overcook the car in front of the screen, but you don't want to lose any pace yourself, and certainly you don't want someone behind you in the vicinity that can tell you where it's going over. Right, moving down the order, look at the back, Friendly Dutch, I don't know what's going on with him. To me, he looks ghosted to me, and I'm wondering whether Friendly Dutch is on some sort of autopilot there, and which is why he's the usual pace expectation from him is not there, and he's kind of ghosting himself out so he can pick up points, but doesn't actually have to do any work for it. Don't know if there's a penalty for that, but I'd give that out. Wolsey, bad luck bear today in 10th place, 10.1 seconds back from Mr. J, and the luck just compounds and compounds and compounds and compounds, and now he's got to go spend more money, chase another, or try and chase another car down, do some more repairs. What can you say? Not a good day for Wolsey. But Wolsey and Friendly Dutch is lost. Is the game for 2 half cars? Error and Mr. J. 1.3 seconds. Mr. J is behind his teammate Error. Error is 2.8 seconds back from Daryl Fingers 27. He is comfortably in the table at the moment. And as I say that, out goes Fingers on the grass, and then absolutely fucks his car. Commentator's curse strikes again. And what a place to lose it. Come out of Junção. I know you want to get on that power, but you've got to make sure when you come out of Junção that you've got the car under control. You've got to have it under control coming out of there. And I know there's that temptation as you come through and you start to swing round to just power down and get the maximum benefit. But it's just one of those corners you can't risk it. And if you just get on the grass and you're just a little bit squirrely on the back end's a little bit twitchy, it's going to go. So, bye-bye Fingers, as they say to the bloke who cuts trees. So where does that put everyone else? So, Wolsey, ahead of him in 9th place, is in the pits at the moment. Again in the pits, it's not going well for him, is it? He's not wheeling his car into retire, is it? No, he's not. Mr. J, error in 7th, of course. Riley, he's running in 6th place. He's just behind the lump jump. We're under another safety car. Do I need to go and buy myself a Nintendo Switch? Sure. This has something to do in between cars actually racing. So in the pits goes Bimmerguy and McShmee and McDonough's and McChicken Sandwich. And Moggy and Blumjum stay out, as does Error, as does Mr. J. Mr. J's probably got in 12 laps in those tyres. I think the older safety car, you're in a better position. So the 2 Ferrari drivers are 1 and 2, and they catch up with the back of that Aston Martin. When does the safety car come in? When does Moggy and Blumjump have the opportunity to pick up a 1-2 for Team Fezzer? And I'll tell you what, while we're waiting for the safety car, let's just look at that constructor structure before today. Obviously, this doesn't include points picked up in race number 1. But I'll tell you what, as it currently stands, if they finish like this, Ferrari are going to make that gap on Red Bull Racing absolutely massive. McShmee down in 6th, Friendly Dutch down in 10th. Didn't have a great race last time either, Friendly Dutch. So that, for Ferrari, is going to be an absolute coup. And they're really going to open up that gap going into the last 3 races. And yeah, that's going to be something special. Very special. Right, so still waiting for the safety car. We had so much safety car today, man. I've seen as much of the back as Aston Martins. I think someone needs to pin a picture of those really nice buttocks. Squirrely. Really nice buttocks on the back of us to look at. And I'm aware of when I said buttocks, so I didn't, obviously the postcode was hard to say. Moggy from Blood Jump from Mr. J. Dunners, McShmee, Bim Guy, A. Riley, Error, Wolsey and Friendly Dutch are the 10 drivers left in this race. We lost Fingers, who somehow came out of Junção onto the really long start-finish straight and just binned it randomly into a wall. Connor we've lost, and Ryan also for this race. That's 3 gone, 25 laps gone. Here at Intelagos of the 36, there's just 11 laps to go. Check me out with the mega maths. Yeah, that's how you say it as well. Penalties for Error, Blumchum and Mr. J. And those penalties look a little bit like this. 3 seconds for Blumchum, 6 seconds for Mr. J. And a drive through for Error, which I'm sure he's going to serve as soon as possible, really. You want to get that served and get it done and get back out, especially if you're going to need to get some tyres on it. Right, so this is an opportunity for Wolsey. Right, it's a good opportunity for Wolsey, just to kind of settle back into this race, because we know that Wolsey's got the pace to put in here, and he's got pace to burn here, and we know that overtaking here, if you can get the slipstream. If you can get that DRS for any length of time, you can really put the screws on the car in front of you. So, Wolsey's had some bad luck up until now. So I would say you drive now that you've got nothing to lose. You obviously still respect racing etiquette, and you still make sure you're following those basic rules. But as we see, Friendly Dutch is just tucked in there, just goes it out. That's a range quit for me. I'm not in charge of the points, but I think if you range quit and do that, and you've got that little respect for your racing buddies, that you just want to float around the track like that and pick up some free points, then you should get none. But that's just my humble opinion. I don't think anyone think I'm picking on Friendly Dutch. I would say that whoever goes to that in that way, or had smashed into other cars in the previous race. Just as well, of course, as I see it, I am a commentator after all, and if you want me to commentate on what I see, although I do talk about a lot of stuff. So, is this safety car ever going to come in, or are we going to have 10 more laps of this absolute clusterfuck? No message yet, which would lead me to think that we've got another lap. Oh no, we are. Safety car is in this lap. Thank the gods, Norse and Greek and all of them, whichever ones really exist. We don't know them do, but thank the gods anyway. So here we go. Let's go on board with Blumjam. We know McShmee's going to try to get pretty racing here in terms of tyres. That's what we're on. Front 2 on quite old now, hard compound tyres. So here we go. And that's a big move from McShmee up into 5th place as we see Blumchum making a move on Mr. J. And that's a great shot of a great move either side there of Mr. J. Really, I'm going to drag that out later and remove the sound of my voice from the top of it and just put some music on, because that's really cool. There's another move there going on, Mr. J. That is another great move. Bimmer making the move this time. Let's see if anyone else is going to make the move here. What about A. Riley? Is A. Riley going to make the move? On board that overhead shot. Overhead shot was wicked. Jungler's massive. Doesn't get that extra place. So where are we overall? Moggy is in the lead from Dunners, 6/10 up. Blumchum 1.7 seconds behind in third place. Massive points haul for the Fezzers today so far. McShmee in fourth place, 4/10 behind Blumchum. Bimmerguy 6/10 behind McShmee in that Alpha Tauri. Riley is 4 laps into his tyres. I think that's the Mr. J is holding on for the time being, but we've got Wolsey bearing down on him, and Wolsey's been quick today, but just the luck, it just hasn't had the rub of the green in terms of luck. Certainly a lot worse. I've got to stop talking about this guy. Every time I flash to Wolsey or I talk about him, just something goes horribly wrong. It's nothing personal, my friend. But yeah, you've got the commentator's curse bad. Got it bad. He's hot for commie. There's a copyright infringement right there. Although I did say the wrong words. So I'm lucky, Wolsey. Another spin for you. Another error from you. Error running 11 seconds back in ninth place. Friendly Dutch is still ghosted out and auto driving his way to some 3 points. There's your leader. There's the action out in front. Dunners looking to make a move. DRS enabled. Has he got DRS here? No, he hasn't. If he sticks with Moggy here, he'll get some out of Jean Calvo. Will he get some here? Heading down the straight, he's got that rear wing open. Really good defending there from Moggy, but can Moggy hold him off? He just kind of forced him to go wide. He's gone for the little flip-flop undercut. It's not worked. Moggy well defended there into that turn, and how long can he hold him off? Yeah, you did. The other problem was, although you got the power out too fast out of Juncal, Daryl, you also didn't let it off when you got on the grass. You tried to kind of power through, and that generally compounds any problem. I'm sure you know that. I mean, yeah, I'm sure you know that. But lesson learned, my friend. Lesson learned. As we're looking at Dunners chasing down Moggy. I forgot his name then. Mine went blank. Chasing down Moggy with the hopes of nicking the first place accolades here, as he did in race number 1. And he's got the run on him. Here he is. He's on the outside going into the center S, under braking. Who's got the big brass ones? And it's big brass Dunners. But he doesn't hold on. And Moggy back through into the lead. These two are going at it like a pair of rutting stags. Have some of that. And look at that. A great shot of the rear wing opening. Dunners makes the move. And again, it doesn't stick. Side by side they go. And back again comes Dunners. Just everything he's got up the inside this time. Who's going to hold it? Dunners does make the move stick. And now we've got McShmee tacking onto the back of that battle too. Moggy looking very vulnerable on those 18-lap-old hard compound tyres. Just cannot keep these quicker guys from behind at bay. And McShmee now looking to try and find a way through. And all the time being held up by Moggy. That gives Dunners the impetus. It gives Dunners the gap, the breathing space that he needs to start opening up. There are 6 laps remaining here at Intelagos, and we've come alive after a long time with safety cars. This race has finally come alive, and McShmee getting closer, not close enough to make the move this time on Moggy. Moggy just pushing McShmee back towards his teammate Blumchum. So Blumchum going to get involved here as well. Could it be that Dunners has made that smile? He's made that move count, and now he's going to let the Ferraris and the Ferrari Red Bull and the Alfa Romeo behind just fight this out now while he tries to make his move. And McShmee Gets past Muggy finally. Gets an opportunity to chase after Dunners. The gap being 7/10 of a second. It is fantastic racing out front there. Fantastic racing. We've got Dunners just really sly, really wily. Got himself out in front. McSmee, very aggressive, very quick. Couldn't find a way around Moggy. Moggy can defend like the Arsenal Invincibles. Absolutely putting the car in such difficult places. And despite being on tyres that are so old that my gran would call them prehistoric, he is still hanging it out there. 19 laps he's done on those hard compound tyres. We are on lap 32 of 36. And McSmee with a 1:10.5. That's a quick lap. Look at that. Start to chuck in the quick lap times. Let's have a look at... I want to have a look at penalties again, because they might be a factor here. If it stays this close, they might be a factor in who finishes where. Like they were in race number 1, where Dunners nicked that win because of the penalty, which cost... it was Moggy, wasn't it? Which cost... Moggy a few places. Quite a few places. Or was it McSmee? One or two. It was only like 32 laps ago. I'm supposed to remember that. Wolsey, sorry, no, because Wolsey, it cost 3-4 places. Wolsey with a 5-second penalty, and everyone just stayed within that window to finish the race, and just tumbled through the order. So Dunners out in the lead. That lead's been cut down to just 200ths of a second. But McSmee, with a 3-second penalty, is going to need to make this overtake. And he's got the DRS. Can he make the overtake? He's at the side. He's in front. They go into the centre S. And Moggy hoping to get involved there as well. Into the centre S. And McSmee is in the lead over Dunners. The lead is just 3/10. But already you can see how that's opening up for McSmee. Just when he gets on that power, he just seems to have so much more impetus out of the corners. So it's McSmee from Dunners. Then we've got Moggy running in 3rd place. His teammate Blumchum just behind him. They're still in this race. They're still in it. And they're certainly battling out for the top 3. And actually the battle for the top 3 right now, for 3rd place certainly, is between Moggy, Blumchum, Riley and Bimmerguy. Then Mr. J back in 7th place is going to pick up some decent points for Haas today. Haas is going to say thank you very much for that, Mr. J. Wolsey facing the wrong way yet again. What do you have to do to not be having such a bad day? Every time I look at Wolsey, he's facing the wrong way, and it's just devastating for him. Absolutely devastated. Friendly Dutch is right at the back, and but he's been ghosted out all the time. He has he's not driving that car. Guarantee he's not driving that car. He's I know all the tricks. He knows all the tricks. We all know all the tricks. You can't kid a kidder, my friend. You cannot kid a kidder. So lap 34 of 36. It really has ramped up here in the last few laps, particularly towards the end. And we've got Shmee and Dunners battling for this win. Shmee with a 6-second penalty, or 6 seconds worth of penalties, has got his work cut out to open up that gap. As it stands, it doesn't matter what Shmee does with those 6-second penalties. It's only by the grace of everything that is holy and good that Blumchum and Riley have 3-second penalties themselves, which should be enough to not cost McSmee more than 3 or 4 places. Very, very likely that it will be initially just 3. So there we go, through at the end of lap 35. Just this lap and 1 more lap to go. That's how long McSmee needs to hold out in the lead of this race. Right, let's have a rundown from the back. Friendly Dutch, we know hasn't been racing, well, there been many times anymore. Wolsey, worst luck that I've seen on any driver for some time. Got to feel the man's pain. 1.2 seconds on the road is error. He is 22.3 seconds back from Mr. J with 9 seconds worth of penalty, so that will put him behind Wolsey Wolsey didn't even need to make the overtake at this stage. Mr. J, 11.3 seconds is the gap up and down. Then ahead of Mr. J's Bimmerguy, he is 11 seconds up the road. Then this is where the battle is. It is Bimmerguy in 6th. It's Riley just 3/10 up in 5th. It's Blumchum a further 2/10 up in 4th. But they've got penalties, those two. Moggy is half a second up in 3rd place. Him and his teammate properly going at it. And at the moment, Moggy just holding out while Blumchum and Riley have a little duck and dive between them. Moggy on his last lap, as is Dunners, as is McShmee. So we may as well, as it's right towards the end of this lap, follow McShmee all the way home. The interval is 1.5 seconds. He's not going to finish this race in the lead. Dunners, by virtue of not getting a penalty, and the guy in front of him getting a penalty again, is going to win this race. And I tell you what, if you want to win world championships in sim racing or any kind of racing, be a Dunners. You don't have to win the race to win the race. Don't be silly. Get yourself into a good position, which he has done. 1.5 seconds behind McShmee. Didn't bust his balls. Didn't screw up his tyres trying to win the race. He knew that all he had to do was stay within those 6 seconds. Moggy takes 2nd place. McShmee does finish in the top 3. We've then got Bimmerguy, Blumchum. A. Riley will come home in 6th. Mr. J, good performance from him, bearing in mind he's usually not that high up the field. That's 7th place for Mr. J. 8th for Error. Great points for McLaren. Wolsey, I think, will jump Error because of the penalty points. So we've got Error will eventually come home. Then Wolsey, then Friendly Dutch, who isn't actually driving. But there is it's turning out to be a bit of a masked tactician. Winning races without winning races. Knowing that you can exploit your opponent's penalties by just being in the right place at the right time. And I think Driver of the Day is a bang-on decision there. So there we go. Round 9's over. We have had a lot of racing this evening, and it's been absolutely fan-dabby-dawsy. Fan-dabby-dawsy. There's your winner again. Dunners again. I don't know what's more boring, seeing Dunners winning races or the safety car. I'm only kidding, of course. It's great seeing Dunners win. Another trophy for him. And closing down on that all-important Drivers' Championship. Not necessarily looking so strong for constructors. Good strong finish from 2 Ferraris again. And that will open up that gap. Particularly with Connor not finishing the race in the other Aston Martin. So there we go. Ding dang do. What more can we say? It has been an honour to again do this shit with you. But let's go through the full clarification. From the United Kingdom, we have Dunners in the Aston Martin in the first place. From England, we've got Moggy in the Ferrari. He was 2nd. 3rd is McShmee from England in the Red Bull. The Canadian driver, Bimmerguy, in the AlphaTauri, comes in 4th place. 5th for Blumchum from the World in the Ferrari. A. Riley from Great Britain in the Alfa Romeo. Mr. J from the World in the Haas. Wolsey from England in the Alfa Romeo. Error from the World in the Haas. Friendly Dutch, or Angry Dutch as I'm told he is, from the World in the Red Bull. Fingers, I don't know what it says from the World. I know where he's from. He's from Surrey. Round the corner from me. He's in the Alpine. Connor from Barney, Scotland, in the Aston Martin. That was a terrible accident. I really apologise. And Ryan brings up the rear to round out this entire lineup. So, thank you for joining me. If you joined me for both, brilliant. If you joined me just for this one, good. If you joined me for the other one, that's just good too. Thank you so much for joining me again for F1. Guess what? Nothing going on tomorrow. We've got some previews coming on tomorrow for the new GR3 tournament, which starts in a week's time. Thursday we've got some more F1 action with Smoking Pirellis, and we've also got the start of a BFER Rivals. Really, really looking forward to that one. It's going to be awesome, absolutely fan-dabby-doozy. That's going to be. Friday, it's more F1 action with Euro Trips. Saturday, it's the 3-hour endurance. And then we roll around again to Monday. Back here next week, Tuesday, with more action from Smoking Pirellis, followed by Late Night Racing League, and it'll be round 10. And where are we next week, folks? Let's have a little look, see. I can't remember. I cannot remember. But that's why we have Discord, and we have... where we don't write things down. Well, I don't write things down. So next we are in ding, going to Chinatown. Yeah, we're in China next week. So thank you very much for joining me. I've been Empire. This has been Black Flag Racing TV with Late Night Racing League in Brazil. Laters.